Well, beautiful, and it's certainly one of those ones that was in the headgear of the Egyptian priests as well.
Absolutely. But I love James what you were just sharing about how it's also available unmined, because I see that as a witness for the universe, as a witness for our planet, for people to say the gems are there, meaning the gems within, that you can harvest these gems within, and yet we have these beautiful tangible reminders if we allow ourselves to be open or to learn how to discover these openings. So what a beautiful gift, what a treasure.
Yes, gemstones are lights along the path. They can be assistants, but it is still ourselves. It is still the person that must do the work.
Exactly.
Gemstones actually refract light if they are translucent or transparent. The opaque ones put out an electromagnetic field that is very, very balancing to our aura. And so they are helpers, but they are not the path. We must walk
Yes.
the path.
Exactly, exactly. And speaking of helpers here, we have a caller who has a question for you, James. So let's go to line 3 and welcome Kimber from Ohio.
Namaste, Kimber. Welcome to Sri and Kira Live. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you so much.
You are so welcome. How can we serve you today?
Well, I have had starseed astrological readings. I've been kind of on the path for a while and had my hands in a lot of cookie jars, kind of not knowing where to go. But I was told this year specifically that there's a strong thing for me to be involved with crystals and healing the earth. And I even was sent some of the Giza crystals that were charged there many years ago. They're only given to like certain star seeds that are supposed to go to certain areas and bury them. So I'm wondering if he has any information, any guidance for me on how to get started.
Sri, could you? I could not understand all of the question. Would you be able to repeat some of that, please?
Sure, I can summarize it.
Okay.
Go ahead, sweetheart. Well, essentially what I'm hearing is that Kimber said that she has been guided and given information that this is a big year for her to be working with crystals, that she received some Giza crystals that have been energized, that are given to some certain star seeds to rebury into the earth. And she's really looking for guidance on how to get started on this aspect of her life.
Thank you, and that's an excellent question. Crystals are very unique. Quartz crystal is silicon dioxide. And as you may be aware, it is silicon that stores memory on our computers. That's why they call it Silicon Valley. And so silicon has very many scientific properties that we're just starting to understand that tie into metaphysics in certain ways. Crystals are transmitters, they are receivers, and they also emit electricity, and this is a fact. They are piezoelectric in the sense that they can put out an energy wave. So they're programmable. And so if you have received a Giza crystal that has a special message, that has a special vibration, that will be transmitted through that crystal. And if you take those crystals to certain points on the earth, an axial tonal line will occur. An axial tonal line is a connection to the source, and in this case, it could be the divine message that has been instilled in that crystal and to the King's Chamber and at the pyramids and in Giza. And so very often when we do pilgrimages, we will take crystals that are embedded with messages. We recently returned from Temple Mount in Israel in May of this year, and we buried crystals all along the places in Israel for world peace. And so crystals are transmitters. And when you place them in other areas of the earth that are powerful, and you will know where to place them, they connect those. An axial line, by the way, is a scientific property as well in many ways. For example, if you hit a C note on a piano and you have a tuning fork in the key of C, that tuning fork will automatically start vibrating, as will the other keys on the piano that are in C. The same thing occurs with sacred sites. If you have, for example, a sacred site of metamorphic granite that has a certain vibration, and granite is 40% quartz, it will vibrate with other places across the planet in the same way. And so using crystals to bring messages to promote peace, to promote spirituality, and placing them in other sacred places is a very powerful thing to do. And probably in another lifetime, you were a person that worked with crystals and has a knowledge that will come to you on how to work with these, which ones to use, and how to program them.
You know, that
Beautifully
is so beautifully said.
Like that. I'm sorry.
Well, Kimber, I just want to share with you.
In Ohio, there's a serpent mound, and I felt like there's a connection there.
Absolutely.
So, Kimber, the one thing I want to jump in is say this to you, because we're running out of time and we have lots of other callers, is this. The message that I keep hearing as James was sharing with you is you need to trust your guidance.
Trust.
So you don't need to be asking us now where to go. You've got, they're all I'm hearing around you is you have everything you need, but it's time for you to trust yourself, and that's where your true growth will come in. And so I'm so glad you called today. Namaste, beloved one, and thank you.
Oh, bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Angel.
You're welcome. And for all of our listeners, we're going to take a little station break. But before we do, we invite you to take a deep conscious breath and continue breathing. We'll be right back after these messages. Welcome back. We are delighted that you're with us today, and we're also delighted to be sharing time and messages with James Tyberron of earthkeeper.com.
Well, in this extraordinary first week of October, which is, as we've mentioned, the month of the inward journey. And again, if you have not been to Official Sri and Kara at YouTube, go watch the short video we posted about this month. This is a game changer, guys. This month is a game changer, and I love that James is our guest to kick off this powerful month, as we're 3 days from this incredible game-changing full lunar eclipse, and we're just not too much further to that partial solar eclipse at the 23rd. So, beloved angels, this is a beautiful month about the inward journey with the passion of living your truth. It's an incredibly gift. It's really a gift.
And as you go inward, as you listen to that voice that may have been dismissed at other times, take with you your journal. Take with you the crystals you're called to work with.
Absolutely.
And remember, the X factor is you.
So true.
It all happens because of your commitment, your tenacity, your willingness to ignite your ascended passion and take action.
Absolutely.
And speaking of ignition and action, James, I know that you have a lot of things going on. I've been to your website. There's rich resources at earthkeeper.com. Tell us a little bit about what's coming up
I know you have
for
this,
you and your community.
And you have this great event coming up next May. Tell us what's up.
Well, thank you very much. Appreciate that. And yes, we're having the 2015 Earthkeeper Colorado Stargate. It will be in Denver, Colorado from May 29th to June 1st. And a lot of our mission is about bringing science into metaphysics. We believe that the scientific omits the sacred, and the sacred often omits the scientific. And so
Amen.
we attempt to explain earth energies, explain auric fields from a scientific basis. We believe that much of what is happening with the solar radiation is changing the ionic ratio of the planet, and that this opens the pineal gland. So this gathering will be a great accumulation and collation of spiritual teachers, including the grandson of Edgar Cayce, Dr. Charles Thomas Cayce, John Van Auken, the executive director of the Edgar Cayce Foundation and author of 38 books, a wonderful, warm person, Dr. Robert Schoch, who is a New York Times best-selling author and a famous geologist. He was the one that discovered and received academic recognition that the Sphinx is much older than the pyramids. We have Graham Hancock, who will be speaking about his new book, The Magic of the Gods, and he is the author of Fingerprints of the Gods. We will have David Hatcher Childress, who's another prolific author. He's the voice of the Ancient Aliens series. We will have Dr. Rick Strassman, who talks about the pineal gland. And we will also have Joanne Parks with Max, the Crystal Skull, and Michelle Nocerino, the daughter of Nick Nocerino, with the crystal skull that Nick found in Guatemala, as a matter of fact.
Mm-hmm.
And just a great collection of wonderful people, wonderful speakers, and that will be May 29th through June 1st in Denver.
And is that all at earthkeeper.com? Can people find it there?
Yes, thank you for that. It is available. All the information is available on our website, www.earth-keeper.com.
All right, guys, remember that dash. It's earth-keeper.com.
And one thing I want to also underscore is there are many individuals that are carrying wisdom, energy, and are truly, let's just call them the spice in the stew. And
why not?
And why not sample the spices? Because we are co-creating a new reality together.
You know, we really are, and we're initiating this incredibly powerful month. You know, whether you're catching this show live, whether you're grabbing us in the archives, remember that the energy of this moment is yours to harness, is yours to carry forward, as we have truly been discussing the gift of, are you living your spiritual life or not? It's time to come out.
And for our callers we didn't get to today, we want to say
next week.
Thank you. Feel free, any of you, if you have a question that you would like addressed, you can send us an email to guest@shriandkiraradio.com. And of course, call back at on these lines next Sunday. We'll be delighted to move you further up into the queue. And
because, you know, it always goes too fast. And speaking of going too fast, James, we would love to have you back in December. We have a very powerful December. Would you join us again in December?
I would be honored to do so. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Well, thank you. It would be our joy.
And it's certainly been a pleasure to be with you. But before we end today, I just want to invite you to take a moment and consider this question. If you had but one moment to impart some wisdom to the brothers and sisters here, what would you say?
To trust the self and to remember that action is required in the third dimension. We can have ideals, we can have goals, but we have to put them into action. And to remember that very often people on the path are very, very sensitive and are sometimes too critical of themselves. And so it is important to remember that there is no honor in self-condemnation, that you must recognize that you are a spark of divinity, you must love yourself, and you must work to be happy. And to enact the goals. We are co-creators of the new earth, and by holding those higher vibrations, we will bring into reality that better world that we all know can be created.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm clapping, yay, because that is just such a beautiful synopsis of spiritual truth, indeed.
And we want to say thank you for your wisdom and summarizing things so eloquently. And to all of our listeners, we say thank you. Take a deep breath, and may you know that all is truly well. We'll see you next week. Namaste.
Thank you for joining us at Shri and Kira Live. To have your questions answered, send us an email to guest@shriandkiraradio.com and check out more information at shriandkira.com. See you next week. Namaste.